Hello everyone and welcome to my next video, and today we have not a game but a puzzle. Let's solve it together. The white king is in check. White has a powerful passing pawn on e7 which is holding back black's forces. Also, the black queen is a bit stuck in the white camp and will not be able to quickly return. Finally, the weak black king and the hanging position of the black rook should push white to look for a double attack. White needs to regroup wisely to deliver the decisive blow. And the first move is king to g3, the only winning move. Other retreats result only in a draw or something worse. For example, if king g2, then queen d2. And if king retreats to g1, then after check and bishop f1, white can still hold this endgame, but it's not what we were hoping for. And if instead of king g1, white decides to play king g3, then they get brutally checkmated. For example, queen h2, king g4, and queen h3 checkmate. And king f3 doesn't change much, because after king f3, it's rook h3, rook g3, and queen h3, the same thing. If white decides to play not king g3, but king f3, they still get checkmated because of queen d1, king g3, queen g1, and after queen g2, exchange and rook e8, black destroys the e7 pawn and then wins this endgame. And if instead of all that, king to f1, then check, king g2, check, exchange of queens, and the same thing, but with king now. So the only option for white, except for all of that, and king to g3, is to play king to g1, but now queen a1 and bishop f1, and it's the same situation. This option is also not good for white. So that's why white plays king to g3. And here, black has two options. The most good one is king to f7. Black is trying to delay white's pawn. If black had tried to distract white's queen from defending e1, white would have had a very clever win. For example, f5 attacking the queen, and you cannot take this pawn because of queen e1, and it's a perpetual check now. But instead you promote to a knight, a strong under promotion. And if king to f7, then you take, and queen e5, double attack, you win the rook and you win the game. So if it doesn't work, that's why black plays king to f7. And white unexpectedly plays queen to g6 check. What is it? White gives up his pawn on which such high hopes were placed. Why? It's all in the details. Black takes, check, and now king e6. Black expects white to grab the rook without thinking and get checked perpetually. For example, if you take the rook, now it's queen e1 and queen to g1. Black's plan was to have the king cover the f5 square and prevent the white monarch from hiding there. The white king is forced to go back because the h-file cannot be reached due to the loss of the queen, and the game ends in a perpetual check. For example, king f3, queen e3, and it's a draw. But here, white brings up an idea that simply cannot be imagined. White plays king to g4, a paradoxical move. White moves the king out of a possible check on e1 in advance, but the main idea is that white unpins the bishop. But wait, can black just move the rook from under the attack? Let's see. For example, after rook e8, bishop f5, queen to d7, we win the rook, we win the game. So if black loses the rook in any variation, they lose. If rook d8, then still bishop f5. There are two options for black. If king to d6, then all is simple. Queen takes, queen e7, and black loses his rook. But king to d5 is a little trickier. White starts with queen to b7, king d6, check with the queen from b6, from e6, takes on f6 with double attack. Now check from h8, check from g7, and we return to the same position that we saw. King d6, queen f6, queen f7, we win the rook and we win the game. If the rook tries to flee to c8, then bishop f5, but after king d6 we don't take the rook because we will lose our precious bishop, but we place queen to d7 and now take the rook with the queen, remaining with an extra bishop. If the rook flees all the way to b8, still bishop f5, queen d7, and queen c7 will double attack. And if the rook hides all the way in the corner, we have bishop f5, queen d7, queen c7, and now queen b7, and we win the rook, we win the game. So black has only two options left. For example, rook h2. This move is more tricky. White needs to change his plan to win, and starts with f5, not bishop f5. Now black has three options. If they go for king d6, then queen f6, queen e6, and if king c7, then queen e5 double attack. If king d8, then queen d6 double attack, and we win the rook. If the king runs to e5 instead of d6, we have queen e7, queen to d7, queen to c7, again one more double attack, and we win the rook. And if the black tries his last option with king to d5, we still play queen d7. He cannot retreat to e5 because of queen e6 checkmate, so he has to play king to c5, which leads to queen c7 double attack. We take the rook and we win the game. So the last option for black is queen e1. It's black's last attempt to deceive white. If he takes the rook, white cannot escape perpetual check. However, white is saved here by the fact that his king is no longer in check, and now he has one move in reserve. Due to this possibility, white manages to drive the black king away and free the f5 square for his own monarch to escape. Bishop c4 check, now we take the rook, and the king hides on f5, an absolutely safe place for him by now, and white queen will return, and we will win in the game. So instead of all that, black plays rook h1. It's the main line of defense, but even it doesn't save black. Because white plays bishop f5, the bishop came in handy right now. King to d6. If black tries to run to d5, then we have bishop b7, queen b7. And if knight king c5, we simply take the rook. And if he blocks with the queen, I hope everyone can see what white plays do. White plays bishop to e4 check, and after takes queen c6, and white wins the game. So black starts to play king d6, but now queen d7, queen c7, queen takes b7, one more double attack. Black loses the rook and loses the game. And that's how this puzzle went. I hope you like it. And if you really want to support me, just like and subscribe. And see you in the next videos. Bye.